So if you've heard a lot about Lovable and you're wanting to dive in, I want to break down my approach. I've now built over a dozen apps with Lovable, and I've started to refine and kind of find some tricks and things that work well to help get to a usable product faster. So in this video, I want to break down what my approach is, how I think about it, and how, maybe some tips and tricks that you could use to build your own app. Everything starts with like a problem or an issue. So what is the problem or the fundamental thing that you're trying to capture? And so in this case, I was like talking to our builders about like, hey, we had these frustrations and not knowing like when things were going to get pushed or what our new estimated move-in date is and things like that. And so what I did was I literally took every single email that I had communicated back and forth with our builders. So I have all the emails that I just literally exported from Google. I uploaded it to Claude. And now this is an important one because I found that Claude does a much, much better job at planning than ChatGPT does. And that, at least as of right now, February 2026, that's where I've landed. And it just does a phenomenal job of grilling you with questions. So I took every single email that we communicated about the project. I uploaded the ways that they've been invoicing us. And I just gave like an opening prompt of like, I want to make a lovable app for our contractors that are building our house. I have a bunch of emails. Here's some additional context. Currently, whatever. I listed out the problems. They said it was going to take 6 months. It's now been 12 months. Like, what could we have done differently? Blah, 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 blah. So it says, okay, great. Like, upload the context that you did. So I did that. And then this is what it went into and said, like, this is what I found out. Here's the pattern that I'm noticing. And so then it's asking questions of like, what should the app do? And then this is the part I love about Claude also is that it just starts breaking down like, who is this for? Who are you making this for? What features are most valuable? So like it had me rank them. Do you have a master spreadsheet for estimating and budgeting? If so, do you want to upload that? So I'm going back and forth. I'm starting to dialogue about this process. And then as we go through all this stuff, it's like, it's then at a certain point here, we get to a place where it's like, okay, so I'm built a spec document. So this is what it looks like, where it has like, hey, this is the thing that I'm looking for. And so it outlines the problem. And this is also why I would say Lovable does allow you to go straight to their system and you can just put in a prompt and it will make something for you. But by starting in Claude first, you're going to be able to get a much more detailed breakdown. And the thing I don't like about Lovable currently is that it doesn't really allow for this like dialogue back and forth to clarify and probe and iron things out. So by starting in Claude, you can have Claude grill you with questions and then make a really, really detailed spec sheet of exactly what needs to happen. So I keep going back and forth. And then I like had some additional comments on like, hey, I think it'd be nice to have a timeline. And we also need to consider this and other thing. So I'm going through and we're still dialoguing. But again, I would say the primary thing I'm using Claude for is I want you to grill me with questions to iron out all of the edge cases, the things I'm not thinking about, things I might want to do that I'm not even aware of right now, and build this out. So it built out the master spec, and then it also created. I had it come up with fake data to make this more useful. So it created seed data that I could load in and basically have all the stuff that I made make sense when I'm showing it to the contractors. So um, we get that. Then what happens is I drop that into here and it starts building out the app. So you watch it work and it starts putting all the things together. And then another little trick that I found is when you're running into an issue and you want it's not doing quite what you want it to. And sometimes you can get in where it's like, okay, I fixed it. And then you go look and it's not fixed. And it's like, oh, let me try again. Oh, it's fixed? No, it's not fixed. So what I started doing was I started asking Lovable, hey, I'm actually going to solve this problem in Claude. So I just need you to give me all the context that you can around a given topic. So I might say like, can you break down how you're using phases? What other objects in the system are they related to? What properties do phases have? And just like anything else from a user interface perspective or the back end, just like give me all the context. And then I go back to Claude, and in Claude, I'm like, okay, here's what I'm working on, and I need you to help figure out why this isn't working or how to solve this. And then I take what it gives me, and I put that back into Lovable, and then I allow Lovable to actually do the building work. So in this case, this particular app that I built has many different facets here. I've got the dashboard of the overview of the entire project. I can get into the timeline where I'm seeing when are things starting. The person could come in and say, okay, we're completed with this part. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Maybe this part is in progress right now. So we can go ahead and say in progress. Um, and then it's asking this for, are there any decisions for framing material that we need to get? So I'm going to push 7 decisions to the front, where now if I go over to this decisions list, these are the things that are going to need to be decided in order to get approved or for that stage to be completed. So lots of little details like this, but it all this and I this entire app I spent, I mean, you're always able to get like 80% of the way, like a fully functioning thing. It feels like within an hour. But then I probably spent another 8 to 10 hours finessing this and trying to make it do exactly what I wanted. So it's not a small amount of time in total to actually make this function and do exactly what you want. And even now, I still have some things that I gotta like clean up and adjust. But the fact that you can do this something like this would have taken you 3 to 6 months before, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of developer time to make this. And then if you have a change or an idea, every single adjustment of font size or refactoring something could take weeks to do. And this is like, it takes seconds now. So anyways, that's my process. That's how I've been using Lovable. Hopefully that was helpful or gave you some ideas. Let me know what else you're interested in, and like what other content or educational stuff would you like to see in terms of how I'm using Lovable and building out these apps for myself and for our clients, because I'm just playing around and trying to come up with as many different use cases as I can to do this. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one.